Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Adam with Rebel 8 Marketing, and I just wanted to make a quick video for you guys about content syndication and why it's so important. This is one thing that I talk to my clients all the time is once you get your content ready, there's more to it than just posting it on your website and hoping that the traffic starts to flow in. Now, when you do all this kind of stuff, it can increase your SEO value, which will eventually make the traffic start to flow in for you. But getting that initial boost is incredibly important on every single new piece of content that you do. So what content syndication is basically taking your content that you just created, whether it's going to be like video or a blog post or an image or anything like that, and actually replicating it across the web. So that's what content syndication is. Now, there's going to be some SEO tactics that you can add to the post, like Canonicalization and stuff like that, which will help Google know which piece is the original content. But for now, I just want to kind of focus on getting that content out there. So I have a post that I'm going to be basically mirroring this image, this video to. And this is going to be really raw, minimal editing type stuff. I just wanted to kind of get this out for you guys. So if I go onto this page about my content syndication, so it's the rebelape.com/syndicating your content and hyphens between syndicating your content. So I'll leave a link in the video too. But so basically what we're going to do is syndicate your content so you can reach a bigger audience. There's going to be different audiences on Facebook versus LinkedIn versus Instagram versus Twitter. They're all going to be different audiences and they all behave in a different way. So you can take this content and kind of repackage it in different ways to help those audiences hit that market. And what's great about that is that's kind of like a form of microblogging. So you have your one big blog post, for instance, and you can break it up into little pieces and kind of put it out there in a new, fresh way, and then lead them back to the bigger piece of content. So going with that, a few of the biggest things when you're going to be syndicating your content on different social platforms is going to be not only getting it out there to your audience, but if you can get it out there to other people's audiences, that's going to be even better. So when you post out a piece, depending on the size of influencer you are, kind of dictates on who you can reach out to. So it's kind of like going back to like Mike Tyson's old days. If you shout out Mike Tyson and you're a brand new fighter, he's not going to respond to you, right? But as you kind of have local fights and build your name bigger and you become bigger in your city, he's still not going to respond to you, but you're starting to make a name out there. People are starting to get to know you. And then once you start becoming statewide, he starts listening when you call him out and say, hey, I want to fight. But you're probably still not going to get a fight with him. So you keep on working and working, and pretty soon you're national. And if you were to call him out then, he'd probably be like, hey, good job on gaining your ranks. Let's talk about it, right? Let's schedule a time or whatever. So you want to be able to start small and build bigger. So with that said, when you post out content, find an influencer that's just a little bit bigger than you, right? And talk to them, make a reciprocal relationship between them. So like you give them something for them sharing your content. So maybe you share something of theirs to your audience and and they'll share something of yours to their audience. So that way is a way to drastically increase your reach immediately. A few other things that you can do is put it on other platforms. For instance, I was talking about canonicalization. If you canonicalize your URL and then you syndicate to, say, LinkedIn and Medium and Quora and all that stuff, when Google finds that content and they find your content and they'll check the dates and all that kind of stuff and find that yours is the original, you'll get credit for that. So you'll get a backlink from these guys, but you'll get the content. You'll get the credit for the original content. That doesn't necessarily mean that you'll outrank your own content. Sometimes your Medium content might actually outrank your website. So that is one of the fears with content syndication, but at the same time, it still increases your brand awareness. So in my opinion, it's worth it versus not being seen at all. Let's see. Social media groups and forums, those are a great place to share as well. For instance, if you're, say, I use the analogy of fishing a lot. I don't know why, because I don't fish that much, but say you're into fishing, right? Go onto Facebook and find other groups of people who do fishing. Find groups that talk about tying a fly. Find groups that talk about different types of fishing rods, all that kind of stuff. And join those and create relationships with them. Don't necessarily try to sell your service. So what I like to do is like the 80-20 rule. You can only ask for something back 20% of the time. So the other 80% of the time, you're giving out free information, right? So what I would do is go into these groups and share your information, get to know them, get people liking your information and actually coming back to your profile to see what you're all about and see what else you've got and see if you're actually blogging about other stuff or if you're a diehard fisherman. Excuse me. So that's a good place to start. And a lot of times if you actually do it right and you've got your profile loaded with links and other articles and all that kind of stuff, as people come back to your profile, they'll naturally go over to your website anyway, even if it's for a different article. So social media groups and forums, those are great. You could also hit things like Reddit, LinkedIn groups, Facebook groups, just anywhere that your audience might be looking. So another thing that you could do is blog commenting. Now, this isn't the tactic of old-time SEO that I'm talking about. Old-time SEO is basically going up and posting great content and you put your link in it and try to get backlink. Those don't work anymore. They're all no-follow. It's usually decredited. Most people don't even care. But if somebody writes a big post on fly fishing and you come and make a really good response about fly fishing and actually build on that article and add more value, not trying to take away credit from the original writer, but trying to add to it. Say they talk about a great fishing rod and you're like, hey, I have that fishing rod, I really like it. Here's another one that was comparable that I really enjoyed, and I've actually started to use that one even more, and then people will start to be like, oh, hey, that's good. You're adding to it, and you're creating a dialogue between you and the original author, which is really good. And then if you can do that enough times, sometimes you can earn a blog post, known as guest posting. So you could actually write up a blog post, and talk to them and have them put it on their website with a link in that back to your website. So that's also a really good method to get more traffic that way. Let's also see. So all of this stuff, like I was mentioning, it does come with a fear of duplicate content. Honestly, getting the information out there to me is still more important than duplicate content. So if you can canonicalize your post and get to be the original content, that is absolutely best. But personally, I think spreading the brand awareness is a lot more important. One other thing that I want to cover is emails. So email content is still super important. Probably one of the most important tactics is if you can build your mailing list. When you create new content, a lot of people who are joined into your mailing list, they're committed to you. They've opted in and they're saying, I want to get personalized information from you right into my most valuable digital asset I have, which is my email. People still hold those incredibly sacred to them, and for the most part, they only let people that they want in, otherwise they unsubscribe. So that's one of the things that I like to look at too. Then, what do you talk about? What I like to do on a lot of these things is go find questions. Quora has questions all the time. Reddit has questions all the time. Find questions and answer them. And don't just do like generic answers that you're just copy and pasting absolutely everywhere. Actually respond to the person who's writing the question with a valuable response to it, not just a sales letter, but an actual valuable response. And you will get tons of traffic a lot of times coming from that post back to your profile. And then if you take that profile and put a link back to your website, a lot of times they'll bounce. Now, most of those platforms don't like self-promotion, but if you do it tastefully, a lot of times you can even get your own link into that blog post without anybody complaining. But again, if you do it distastefully, you're going to get slammed for self-promotion. So make sure you're actually adding valuable content to the person responding. And if you do it in a tasteful way, they usually don't care. So with that said, without this getting too long, I would like to just kind of say that I've got this as a kind of like a cheat sheet. You can go to the blog post and just kind of run through these methods. Every time you make a post, make sure you're sharing it and getting it out there to other people. And that will actually help bring more traffic to your blog post. And because you're bringing in more traffic, and if you can get people to stay there for a few minutes on top of that, your SEO value will increase and you will start seeing more natural traffic coming into your website because of those. And then you actually have those extra sources syndicating your content on like Medium and Quora. It becomes constant streams because they don't just disappear. Especially if you get like a hot topic where it gets featured, or it's just one of those evergreen things where it's always being reciprocated, if that's even the word I'm looking for. But it's constantly coming back into the list and people are always searching for it. It can become evergreen and people can come into your website from now to years from now. So that's pretty much all I want to do. I want to jump on here, share some quick tips. It's pretty late here. I've just been thinking about a lot and I wanted to get on here and just kind of get some videos going for you guys to kind of help out. So if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up on this. Leave a comment on the blog. I respond to those as well. So anyways, that's all I've got. So I will talk to you guys soon.